the night wind to the little lamb. Do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little lamb. Do you see what I see? A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite, with a tail as big as a kite. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? A song, high above the tree, with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know? In your palace warm, mighty king, do you know what I know? A child shivers in the cold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Said the king to the people everywhere, listen to what I say. Pray for peace, people everywhere. Listen to what I say. The child, sleeping in the night, he will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light.
Good morning. Again, Happy New Year and welcome to our celebration of Epiphany this morning. If you are joining us online, welcome, welcome, welcome. We will be celebrating communion at the latter half of the service and invite you to do so with us. You may want to get something to eat and something to drink for that celebration. After the service, if you will stay for the unhanging of the greens, the deacons would be really grateful for many hands to make light work of tearing down the season, if you will. So again, if you're watching us online, you may or may not know that we're at our high temperature for the day, and it's going to keep going down. And it is cold, and will be quite cold here in Fort Worth. And that means, for those of us here, that room at the inn is a very important thing. And in the comma, there's information about that and how you can participate in that as we try and keep our neighbors and friends warm and safe during the upcoming cold days. There's a lot more information in the comma as ever. There's a QR code behind me that you can simply scan with your phone to sign up for it and begin receiving information. Welcome again to this first Sunday. As you're coming in, I invite you to come in. Linger just a little longer, particularly on a communion Sunday. Is there a part of you that you yourself are keeping out from this time and from this space together? And might you invite that part of you that you think doesn't belong at church, shouldn't be here this morning, We're being playful as we often are. I'm not going to say some of the words we were playing, but those parts of you that don't speak this way or that way or act this way or that way. Maybe a holy pause here. Invite it in. The part of you that hasn't forgiven yet. The part of you that's still holding a grudge. That part of you that, even though I suggested not making New Year's resolutions, you made them and you've broken them already. Those parts of you, welcome, welcome, welcome them in. So that as we say our sacred words to us in a moment, it really isn't just for every human body, but it's for every part of every human body as well. So as we say these words out, may we also take them in as we say together, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. Let's greet each other with signs of peace and welcome.
4 for the poor who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send you 8 by 8, 8 for the 8 who stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 who came from heaven, 6 for the jars where the wine was mixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the poor who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born in Bethlehem. All right, you made it through 8.
Yes.
We were in rehearsal earlier, and Cam over here said, how many verses, Joel? I mean, I think he put a stopwatch on it right now. We're timing it. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send you 9 by 9, 9 for the 9 who dressed so fine, 8 for the 8 who stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 who came from heaven, 6 for the jars where the wine was mixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the poor who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send you 10 by 10, 10 for the 10 commandments, 9 for the 9 who's dressed so fine, 8 for the 8 who stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 who came from heaven, 6 for the jars where the wine was mixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the poor who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born in Bethlehem. I mean, 10's a good round number, right? We probably should end at 10.
Yeah.
But you know, in a lot of the biblical themes, you see 12 as a really good number too.
Yeah.
Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send you 11 by 11, 11 for the 11 who went to heaven, 10 for the 10 commandments, 9 for the 9 who dressed so fine, 8 for the 8 who stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 who came from heaven, 6 for the jars where the wine was mixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the poor who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born in Bethlehem.
Oh, we made it.
So after the service, I'm going to invite all of you to come up to Shannon Michael and ask him about what is this 6 for the jars that wine were mixed, and who was standing at the gate. He'll be able to answer all of your biblical story questions as it relates to the song. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send you 12 by 12, 12 for the 12 apostles, 11 for the 11 who went to heaven, 10 for the 10 commandments, 9 for the 9 who dressed so fine, 8 for the 8 who stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 who came from heaven, 6 for the jars where the wine was mixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the poor who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born in Bethlehem. If you come back next week, we'll have a 13th verse for you.
Nice.
Invite all the kiddos to come forward.
have time to come up to me after the service to ask because they'll be late for lunch after that. Good morning and Happy New Year. Still coming. Hi, Charlie. Some take a look as they come down. Yeah. You got some good snacks? Well, a few weeks ago, several weeks ago, I read you this book from my iPad. Now it's arrived. So just as promised, I'll be leaving that book with you for your library. Take it after we're done. And a few weeks ago, we started this book, which was a telling of what we call the Christmas story through an oral tradition of Native Americans. And what is today's part of the story? The what?
The end.
Yeah, yes, the end. Yes, that's true. Thank you, Dylan. And do you know what we call this part of the end? No. So what part did we not get to last time, or what's the special day for today that we're celebrating? Epiphany? Oh yeah. The arrival. What do we call them? The arrival of the what? Sometimes we call them wise men. Some of our songs will. Yeah. What else? Do you know another name for them? Magi. Have you ever heard that one? The arrival of the Magi. This telling is going to call them seekers of wisdom. So this comes after where we finished with the birth. So the page before this was the birth of Jesus. Remember? Okay. So we're at this part now. It was during the days of bad-hearted Chief Looks Brave that the chosen one was born in the village of House of Bread in the land of promise. After his birth, seekers of wisdom traveling a long journey from the east came to Village of Peace. So there they are. The artist did such a good job. The seekers of wisdom began to ask around, where is the one who has been born to be chief of the tribe of wrestles with Creator? We saw his star where the sun rises and have come to honor him. When Chief Looks Brave heard this, he was troubled. So he called all the head holy men and scroll keepers and asked them where the chosen one was to be born. In the house of bread, the village of the great chief much loved one, they answered. Then Chief Looks Brave sent the seekers of wisdom to House of Bread and told them, look everywhere for the child, find him, and tell me where he is so that I may also come and honor him. Do you think he's telling the truth at that part of the story? No. Does he intend to honor this baby? No, he does not. So he lied. So the seekers of wisdom went on their way and followed the star to where the baby was. When they saw the child and his mother, they bowed down to honor him. They gave him gifts of gold, sweet-smelling incense, and bitter ointment of myrrh. But the seekers of wisdom were warned in a dream not to go back to Chief Looks Brave, so they returned to their homeland by a different road. That's the end of the reading and the book. What are some thoughts, or what do you notice from this story? Hi. Anything stand out to you this year? This is one of the very few stories that we come to every single year. Yeah? Yeah? This was the book. So, I invite you to look towards your hearts as I do every week. And I wonder if there's something joyful, scary, sad, happy that you'd like to have the whole of your community hold with you. You have a special prayer request, don't you? What's your special prayer?
Prayers for my grandpa.
Oh, I thought you were going to say snow days this week.
Oh,
but
yeah, that too.
our conversation, and also for your grandpa.
Yeah.
Snow days. Are you very sad to go back to school? Yeah. Do you get to wear your ears to school? No, it's not allowed. What else? Anything else? Maybe not. Well, Happy New Year. I'm glad that you're here. And you can go back to sit where you like to. Nicely. Oh, and these are your books now, so those go to your library. Clear boundaries. He knew what he wanted and what he wasn't going to take. He knew what he was going to say yes to and no to. All right? Oh, that we should all have such clarity. So then, as we come to this first Sunday of the year, as I did with the children, I do with you, I invite you to look inside. What's your heart carrying? Joyful, tender, heavy, scared? That you'd like to share or be shared by your community this morning? For Dennis. Others?
Prayers for our daughter, Kate. She's 36 weeks pregnant and has preeclampsia.
Okay. For Kate and the baby.
Yes.
And the baby, Avery, and the baby's grandparents.
For the family of Nicole, who passed away at a young age of cancer. She was our daughter-in-law's aunt.
For Nicole and all those who love her.
Continued prayers for Pat, Jana, Betty, and Arla.
And Pat and Jana's neighbor, whose name is
Rusty.
Rusty. Yes. Others?
Of gratitude that we have Ruby with us here today.
Yes, if you haven't noticed, Ruby is in the back. Loving Boston, I heard you say this morning, yes. I did one of these. I looked at her as if she'd always, and then realized, that's Ruby this morning. Yeah. What else?
Job interview on Tuesday for Kay.
Job interview for Kay on Tuesday. Kay, who happens to be a licensed social worker, in case you didn't know. What else? Prayers for those in the path of the storm, including here in Fort Worth, where it will be cold.
Prayers for JJ's healing.
Prayers for JJ. None other appearing. I invite you then, as we prepare to move a little bit more into the story of Epiphany of the travelers. In the version I just read to you, they were called seekers of wisdom. For our prayer practice this morning, this may be a little vulnerable for you, I invite you to turn to your inner wisdom. And maybe what is a voice of your inner wisdom that you have maybe a complicated relationship with, maybe not always trusting it, but it's there calling to you, beckoning to you, supporting you on your journey. Let's hold some stillness together, and the invitation is to connect with a piece of inner wisdom that maybe even feels threatening to you, that you are carrying, that is part of you being a holy wise one too. Let's be still together for a moment. God of love, of light, of wisdom, may we hear these seasonal stories not just as long ago happenings or external stories, but stories that happen inside our own hearts and continue to unfold day by day. Amen.
There's a star in the east on the Christmas morn. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. It will lead in the place where the Christ was born. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Follow, follow. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Follow the star of Bethlehem. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. If you take good heed to the angels' words, rise up, shepherd, and follow. You'll forget your flocks, you'll forget your herds. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Follow, follow. Rise up, shepherd, and follow. Follow the star of Bethlehem. Rise up, shepherd, and follow.
Dear hearts, let us pray. Holy Word, Holy Wisdom, be in our hearts, in our understanding, and in our actions. Amen. So as I indicated to you in the comma this week, the statement that today is 12th night, so the last of the 12 days, and we're celebrating Epiphany, is controversial, believe it or not. Because in many traditions, Christian traditions, everything I just said isn't true. That even the 12 days of Christmas, there's a dispute. Do we start on the day of Christmas? And that's number one? Or is that a special day, and so now we're starting, so 12th night actually is tomorrow night? But that's only in the Western traditions that you have that argument. That argument doesn't hold because Christmas doesn't even come until tomorrow in the Eastern traditions, and so we're not even close to Epiphany yet. And Epiphany, what happened? Power. All right, turn. More Epiphany. There we go. Okay, find that thought again. It's okay. In case you know, it's all in the head and rehearsed, and now I can't get it clipped back on my body. All right, there we go. I was talking about Epiphany. And that Epiphany, depending on your tradition, focuses either on the light stories, as we do here, but in a great number of traditions, it actually is a water story, more focused on baptism of Christ. You're a room full of teachers primarily. If you want to have a good this afternoon, what happens? All right. If you want to have now, are we there? All right. Are you just trying to make stuff for the bloopers reel?
I'm trying to keep you on your toes.
All right, here we go. All right, third time. Actually, I have a story that I'm going to bring to you later about not whose line is it anyway, but candid camera. But that's not the one I was planning on doing this morning. Anyway, if you want to have a good time this afternoon, just start Googling world traditions around Epiphany and see how people do it around the world. You'll find that children leave their shoes out with straw in them for camels, the camels who are coming through. You'll find that this is the gift-giving day. You'll even find a witch named Befana in Italy. Go have some fun this afternoon. Don't think I can't see you doing it on your phones right now, by the way. I'm up high. I love Epiphany, actually, in the story, and I love to be playful with it and tell it different ways. I make sure that whenever it falls, and it doesn't fall on a Sunday, usually, that we celebrate it. I have fun, of course, sometimes talking about it doesn't say they were kings, and we could unpack all of that. I've done all that with you before. We don't know that there were three. We know that there were three gifts, etc. So all the hymns we sing about it are all wrong. And we didn't even start keeping this festival for about 350 years in to Christianity. So it wasn't even part of the original celebrations. But it is one of the very few stories, and I sat thinking about this for probably longer than I should. I think only the story of Pentecost is the story that we tell every year that's only told in one place. So this story of the Magi, or whoever these seekers were, is told only in one of the Gospels, Matthew. And so it's the story that we come to every time. Just as the story of Pentecost in Acts chapter 2, on Pentecost, that's the story every year. It's a challenge for preachers who have to preach from the same story every year. At least Easter, you get a rotation of stories. But here, it's this one. And one of the reasons I really do super love this story is because, quite honestly, it shouldn't be there. What? The story is heresy. What? There is a heretical story in it. Just think about what you've been told about this. So they're not kings, obviously. Okay? And so the idea, if you want a fun playfulness around some of that, read the Gospel of Lamb, the Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood's Friend by Christopher Moore. If you haven't read it, don't worry. I'll recommend it to you every year. It's a fun look at it through the lenses of Jesus going actually on a pilgrimage and as the journeyer and seeks a vision quest and seeks out the Magi. And each one represents something different. Yep, still also just made up. This story doesn't belong here because they were astrologers. That part is clear. No matter how you translate the word as kings, magi, or whatever, they were following after a star. They know everything they had from stars and dreams. Go back and read the Holiness Code, Leviticus, and see how they dealt with astrologers. It's not very nice. This story doesn't belong there because these are not people, well, they're not them. They're not part of the group. This story also doesn't belong there, would be perhaps received in a scary way, because where do they come from? The east, it says in some translations. Nothing good for Jerusalem ever comes from the east. What's east? East is exile. East is Babylon. It's likely, quite frankly, that's where they did come from, was Babylon. Matter of fact, they still have people that got left behind or chose to stay back there in Babylon. The story doesn't belong, which if you know me even just a little bit, you know that gets my attention real fast. The story doesn't belong. And one of the reasons I love this story is because we went way long in that opening hymn, so I can't go through all the stuff with you this morning. Did you think I was going to let you just go? Uh-huh. But for the record, I have no idea. I didn't go to camp in Texas, so this was the first song for me. I have no idea what those 3s and 4s and 7s were. I was trying to figure it out and sing along. But this story, because it's celebrated differently at different times, doesn't even show up for a few hundred years, for me, that gives radical permission to take a look at it for the living of our days. What does this story say for us on January 5, 2025, the day before January 6th? What does it say this year to us? And I'm not going to give you an answer there. I'm going to hold that question. What does it say to you, this story that doesn't belong, and yet carries so many pieces of memory for us? If I asked you to tell it, you'd tell me probably a close version of it in your own oral tradition way. How many stories can you actually do that with from the Gospels? This story for me is an invitation every time we come to it to see what are the stories in my life that I want to set out, but keep getting pulled into the gospel, the good news of my own life. And while magi is the root of magician, but in the story I read this morning, they were called the seekers of wisdom. And I like that. It's one of the reasons I brought it this morning. What does it mean for you this year? And I know many of us are really concerned. Some of us are really even afraid about what's going to happen to our own selves or people that we love. What does it mean for us to believe that we are wise? To believe that inside of us there are forces, there is love, there is light that is guiding us. Including, do you hear at the end, my favorite turn of phrase from the story is, they went home by another way. Which is more or less, if I had read it to you in the tradition I would normally read it, that same line is there. Going home by another way. How? Warned in a dream. An inner wisdom that rose up in them as a protector. What does it look like this year to see those mechanisms, those ways in which we protect ourselves as also part of our wisdom. That when we do step back, when we do cover and shield ourselves, when we do say, not right now, not this time, to accept that that is perhaps a voice of wisdom in you as well. If you're brave enough, open your Gospels to Matthew and keep reading what happens afterwards. It's not at all a pleasant story that I've only very rarely, maybe twice in 30 years, preached on. It's the slaughtering of the holy innocents. It's the Jesus as a refugee. His family, having once again been warned in a dream, flees to Egypt. Shouldn't that mean something to us if we know our stories? There's a lot that we'll unpack over the next couple of weeks together and as we move into 2025. May you trust your wisdom. May you develop a relationship restored or established or cultivated with your wisdom as you make your journey through these days. Thanks be to God who makes it with us. Amen. I've lost my train of thought 3 times. It's okay. It's just part of the story, the journey this morning, right? So at this time, we have an opportunity to, in fact, support the journeys of others as well, through our tithes, our gifts, our commitments of service. And as I often do, I do again this morning, and I invite you to hold the plate as it comes by. I know that many of us give online, but see the plate as it comes by as an opportunity to just hold it for a moment and say, this is my commitment to making it so this week as we leave this place. The ushers are coming forward at this time.
We 3 queens of Orient are, bearing gifts, we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of light, star with royal beauty bright. thy perfect light.
No longer keep a paper daily calendar. Long ago that was given up. But I do still keep journals, and not on New Year's Eve, but recently it was time for a new one. And I love that, where you open it, you can hear it for the first time. I like just thumbing through it and seeing all the blankness of it and wonder how long it's going to last. Will it go for more than a year? What's going to go in it? We come still now to a new year. And we come to this table to be refreshed not just this day, but for the days to come. That here we remember that we are connected to a spiritual community going a long way back. Here we join with saints and sinners alike, scallywags and scoundrels, people who were brave, who stood against oppression in their time and told stories of a body broken and told stories of a cup that still overflows with love. So as we come celebrating Epiphany and a new year, we come not because we must, but because we may. We come because we are bid welcome at this table. I invite you online to join with us, and as we come, prepare to come after the words of institution, just a reminder, the bread is gluten-free. It is juice, not fermented. If you wish to receive from the actual loaf itself, just say so and just hand it to you and let you rip a piece off for yourself. All right? Let us remember that our sacred story, though, tells us of a night in which fear, betrayal, death sought to have the last and the lasting word. And that during a meal with friends, our Christ took bread, blessed it, broke it, gave it to them, saying, "Take, eat, this is my body which is broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me, that there may be no more broken bodies." In the same manner as the supper was coming to a close, our Christ took a cup, poured it, blessed it, gave thanks for it, and gave it to them, saying, "Drink from this, all of you, for this cup is filled with my love. Do this in remembrance of me." For as often as we eat of this bread and drink from this cup, we remember. We remember that we do not make this journey alone. The wisdom of our ancestors, love and light eternal, are present with us always. To hearts, all is ready. Come, let us share this feast. Simply come down by the center aisle. There'll be 2 stations. You'll work it out as you return by the side aisle.
Follow the light, beauty
Before we take our leave of this table, let us imagine and even commit to how we're going to be that love and that light as we leave this place out into the world. Let us be still together. Amen.
I invite you to stand and join in our closing song, I Am the Light of the World. Song of the angels is stilled, when the star of the sky is gone, when the sages and the shepherds have found their way home, the work of Christmas is begun. I am the light of the world. Come and follow me. If you follow and love, you'll learn the mystery of what you were meant to do and dream. To find the lost and lonely one, to heal the broken soul with love, to feed the hungry children with warmth and good food, to feel the earth below, the sky above. You're the light of the world. You people come and follow me. If you follow and love, you'll learn the mystery of what you were meant to do and be. To bring hope to every task you do, to dance at a baby new birth, to make music in an old person's heart, and sing through the colors of the earth. I am the light of the world. You people come and follow me. If you follow and love, you'll learn the mystery of what you were meant to do and be.
Most of you probably know that hymn is based upon a Howard Thurman poem. I invite you, if you don't know it, or if you do, to look it up again. It is a worthy read and a good blessing for us, a good guide, a good reminder. What if you are the light of the world? Not the light, but a light. And what if you carry the light inside of you? And if you trusted that, and if you let that shine, and if you recognize that some of your journey this year may take you very close to danger, that some of your journey may not turn out at all as you had intended, but that you trusted that you were making this journey not alone, but accompanied, not just externally, but internally. Go now, beloveds, and let us live the stories we have been telling through these holy days of Advent and Christmastide. Let us now live into the wisdom of Epiphany. Amen.
Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send you 5 by 5, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the poor who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send you 6 by 6, 6 for the jars where the wine was mixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the poor who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born in Bethlehem. All around the children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send you 8 by 8, 8 for the 8 who stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 who came from heaven, 6 for the church of mix, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the 4 who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the little bitty baby was born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send you 9 by 9, 9 for the 9 who was dressed so fine, 8 for the 8 who stood at the gate, 7 for the 7 who came from heaven, 6 for the jars where the wine was mixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the 4 who stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2